All right, so we are now going to talk about how you make money on ACX. Now, there's only one way that Amazon is able to make money, but there are several ways that you can do it, so you ultimately win. Yay! All right, so let's get started with you. So ACX has three main ways that you can get paid. They are through royalty share, per finished hour, and stipend. Some people are open to doing all three. Some people only like to perform books that offer one method of payment. But the more you stay open to anything, the more money you can potentially make. Now, royalty share is probably the most common form of payment that books offer on ACX. This is where you get a cut of each book that is sold. So if you're reading a very popular book, this is a great way to get paid potentially forever, right? So ACX and Amazon make their money through a split in royalty shares. And it's a 60-40 split, meaning that if a book is sold, Amazon gets 60% of the sale, and the other 40% is split again between the rights holder and you, the narrator. So ultimately, you will get 20% of every book sale. Here's an example, in case that was clear as mud. Let's say a book sells for $10. ACX and Amazon would get 60%, or $6. The rights holder would get 20%, or $2. And you would get your 20%, or $2. So if you sold 100 copies of this book, you would personally make $200. Not too bad. Now, I just used arbitrary numbers for my example. Some books will sell for a lot more, some for less. You can also never predict how many copies of a book will sell. Some people only sell a few copies, some sell thousands or millions. But remember, the more royalty share books you do, the more sales you make every month. If you use the numbers from my arbitrary example from before, if you recorded 10 books that each sell 100 copies for $2 a piece, then you'll make $2,000. So the more you do, the more the money train will keep on rolling in, right? The next way of getting paid is by per finished hour. It's exactly as it sounds. Once you finish a book, if it's 6 hours long, then you get paid for the 6 hours worth of work. It doesn't matter if you spent 40 hours recording and editing the book. You just get paid for the finished product. Now, ACX doesn't get any money from you in this scenario. They still go with the 60-40 split once the book is sold. Only this time, they get 60%, and the rights holder gets all of the remaining 40%. You don't get royalties. Once you've been paid your lump sum, that's it. Now, you can set your rate from $50 per finished hour to $1,000 per finished hour. The higher your rate, obviously, the more money you can make. But realize, most of these rights holders are newer authors who may not have much money to pay before the book is sold. Most of them, if they choose this method of payment, tend to offer in the $50 to $200 range. So if you set your rate too high, you may not find as many opportunities. The more flexible you are with your rates, the more jobs are available to you. The third and coolest way to get paid on ACX is called stipend. ACX reserves stipend opportunities to the books it thinks will sell really well. It's essentially a combination of royalty share and per finished hour. So you get the base pay per finished hour and then still get 20% of all book sales after that. If you can get one of these books, then you get the best of all worlds. Look for that little green plus stipend stripe on an audition page for the best possible opportunity to make the most money you can on a project. So now let's discuss a couple of things that still make people a little nervous about this world and see if we can change that fear into excitement.